Hello all, I am Gauri Prasad. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. We all know how important health is. At Tech Mahindra, we believe that health has got a very important role to play in our daily life. Keeping this in mind, we came up with a sub-council called WOW. It stands for Wealth of Wellness, and I am representing Wealth of Wellness Hyderabad. We're almost 8 months old now. We have done various initiatives as a part of this initiative, and I'm sure majority of you might have already participated in this and practicing some kind of initiatives that actually we drove. And we also thought that why don't we make our leaders share their experiences and in terms of their daily life and what is wellness in their views and how do they manage their personal life and then work life and these kind of health related activities, and how do they actually invest their time in doing this, how do they manage the time. So in this process we are starting this initiative with our leader who strongly believes in health is wealth. I'm sure all of you might have already guessed who that leader is. Yes, it's none other than our CTO, ASM. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning. Gauri Prasad, thanks for inviting me to the studios.
Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our request. Can you actually share with us what is wellness in your opinion? And as I was telling, how, we lead a very busy schedule in our day-to-day life, and you see when we actually see people skipping lunches and dinners for their delivery, so much commitment. So in this process, how do you think that our associates actually have to manage their time to make sure that they also take care of their health? And if they are not taking care of their health now, what kind of problem that actually they may face going forward, which we don't want our associates to face? Maybe if you can, and how do you manage that? How do you actually personally manage all these actors? How do you make sure that you look so fresh and young even now? Can you
thanks Gauri Prasad. I definitely would love to share my own experiences. I'm 55 years old. I strongly believe that real wealth is not pieces of gold or silver. Real wealth is absolute health. I very strongly feel, and I really believe so. And I also think that one has to very clearly balance the three lives that we undergo. One is, of course, professional life. The second thing is the family life. And the third one is self, about ourselves. When I say ourselves, it is about our own well-being. Our own well-being, physically being healthy and mentally being healthy. So today we are actually talking about the third dimension, about the self, which many of the, especially the IT services people, the people working in the knowledge economy, the people who are working in companies which have offices overseas, people who work almost 24/7 in various time zones, and the various gadgets that we have access to at this point of time are also contributing to the whole thing in terms of responding almost instantly, the urge to respond instantaneously, and the various social media things including Facebook, Twitter, SMS messages, the mobile phones, and all these things are indeed bringing a lot of complexity to our lives actually at this point of time. And no one wants to be in a situation where they are doing tremendously well in their professional lives. That means to the extent of getting a promotion every year or so. And then at the same time, on the day when they get promotion, their personal lives, the family life should not be disturbed. Just imagine a situation of reaching home with a promotion letter and at the same day receiving a divorce letter from the partner actually. So this situation can be so bad as that if you are not balancing your family life and the professional life. And to that extent, I can also venture to say that the importance that we need to attach to these three lives is not something like 60-20-20 or so. In my opinion, it is 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. If you look at the whole life as three dimensions, professional life 1/3, family life 1/3, and self and yourself as 1/3 actually. In today, with the lack of this understanding, many people more than 80 to 90% of the professionals are almost ignoring the self dimension actually. They are actually confused. They have only 24 hours like anybody else, and everything from personal life to professional life and their own interests are actually demanding, and then they are confusing the people, and they are not in a position to see where to stop a professional related aspects, and then how to spend uninterruptedly quality time with the family life, and without ignoring the one's own health actually. So that's how at a high level I'll say one third. And you see, if you are not healthy, there is no way that you can be a productive person as a family person or at a professional level actually. If you are unhealthy, if you stop coming to office for a few days, actually you are losing out quite a lot. If that illness continues, let's say for a few weeks to a couple of months, etc., the office is not going to wait for you. The client is not going to wait for you. The project is not going to wait for you. There will be replacements, and then when you come back, actually that project is gone for you, and you need to start afresh actually. So people whom you think are very, very close to you can assign priority to you on the minute they hear some news about your health, or on the day or the next day or the first week they make calls, and then they try to inquire about you. But after a few days you are forgotten. That is the sad part of the whole life actually. So you need to make sure that you are 100% fit, you are active, and you should help yourself. So no one else can help you as far as your health is concerned. So when somebody asks you saying that who can help you in your own health, the answer is not that my family doctor. Your family doctor cannot provide you health. In fact, when you are going wrong, when something is wrong, he will be in a position to try and rectify that situation, but he cannot give you health. And then there are very many people, there are very many articles written as of today. People can go through it. People need to be motivated, and that motivation should be self-motivation. In fact, for awareness, there are hundreds of things, thousands of pages are written actually. So are we going through them? Are we convincing ourselves? Are we able to take some of the time that is available in the 24-hour life cycle to help our cause actually? Because everything is about apportioning the right time in a 24-hour life cycle. How are you partitioning the whole thing into these three dimensions? When I say one third, obviously it is not one third of the 24 hours you need to give it to self. That is not possible. I'm only talking about the importance that needs to be attached when you look at it. And also I perfectly understand with the kind of a travel that we are undergoing, the kind of virtuality that we are living with at this point of time, on a given day or for a few days, your schedule may be out of balance. But you need to see over a period of a week, or when you look back at the past month, are you able to do all the three dimensions okay or not actually? So it is not that every day of the 365 days you will be able to get a tick mark for all the three. That is one thing that I wanted to park at this point of time. A few of the thoughts that I would love to share with you based on my own personal experiences is that please remember the height weight charts that we are all seeing today. Okay, all of us are seeing there is a separate chart for men and women. There is a height and then corresponding weight, and they give the minimum and the maximum ranges actually. In fact, please remember that these charts were prepared not recently. They were prepared almost about maybe 40, 50, 60 years back. So at that point of time, the amount of physical activity that human beings were undergoing at that point of time, with the lack of facilities for transportation, where people have to really walk down, or people have to bicycle, etc., and people walking, traveling in buses, standing and things like that. The physical activity per se was much more 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. At that point of time, the height weight charts were actually prepared, and those charts have not undergone any change in the last 50 years. So my recommendation to all of you, whoever is conscious about the weight, is that don't look at the high end of the range. In fact, my suggestion to you is look for your weight, the low end of it, okay, and maybe a couple of kgs or pounds lesser than the lower range would be more than sufficient for you actually to do the kind of activities that we are doing today with all the air conditioning, with all the facilities, with all the automobiles. We don't exert much. The elevators are there, the lifts are there. That is one point I want to say from a personal experience. You don't require the high end. It is a low end, and then maybe a couple of kgs or lbs below the lower range is one topic I want to say. Second thing is, out of the 24 hours to take care of yourself, you need to keep apart at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour for yourself. See, we all keep giving appointments to various stakeholders throughout the year, throughout the week, throughout the day actually. It is only the fault of somebody else for not asking your appointment actually. So if a customer wants, there is no choice. If your colleagues want, if your project leader wants, if your project manager wants, if your boss wants, if your investor wants, if the analyst wants, we are always free to look at the calendar and then start blocking the time, most often actually. But the thing that I want to share with all of you is we should learn to give appointments to ourselves. In fact, we need to pick up the calendar and then start putting appointments to yourselves. That is the time exclusively allocated for yourself, talking to yourself, thinking for yourself, thinking about the future, thinking about the competition when it comes to the professional life actually. When it comes to the personal lives, where you need to actually apportion some kind of a time, either on a Saturday or a Sunday or a holiday or whatever, and even on the working days, if not for an hour or two, at least for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes kind of a time, that is a focused time for your family members. So all these things, my suggestion is we need to plan, we need to put it in our calendar so that we will be reminded, and in a few days if it is not mattering, is not materializing, it is fine. But as a habit, if you look at your calendar, it should show your professional kinds of appointments, your personal appointments, and the appointments with the self. So the self is important. In my opinion, if you look at overall health, there are 7 elements to the whole thing actually. When we say, are you giving enough importance to your health, then where to start thinking? What is health? Is it running for a few miles, or doing jogging or bicycling, or swimming, or what is that I need to do? What is that I need to focus on? Do I need to eat right? So all those things can be easily categorized as, in my opinion, 7 elements actually. Number 1 is breathing actually. Breathing is one portion of our health routine actually, because we all can visualize if the breathing stops even for about 20 seconds or 30 seconds, there is no life for us actually. So all of us say that we breathe, and it is effortless breathing actually. Nobody needs to help you out in that particular situation, and you are automatically breathing in and breathing out kind of a stuff. But then I will say that because of not having a good awareness about how to breathe in and how to breathe out actually, only about 10% of the cells in the body are functioning. Almost 90% of the cells in the body are not active. They are just there, but they are just not utilizing. They are not helping you actually. You are not taking advantage of all the 100% of the cells. So for that, my recommendation is that every day you need to allocate maybe about 3 to 4 minutes of the time. That's all. Out of the 24 hours, if you say that 3 to 4 minutes, I want to make sure that I am breathing normally, or I will try to do something which will actually help me in my breathing process. So that means all of us have heard from the childhood there is something called pranayam. Okay, under pranayam there are various techniques actually. Choose any one of them. Okay, that pranayam technique actually for about 3 to 4 minutes or so will make sure that the entire body is actually getting in a routine fashion a nice way of breathing in and breathing out. How much to breathe in, the slow breathe in, slow breathe out, that whole process. In fact, that itself is a subject by itself, but ultimately you need to put it into a 3 to 4 minutes calendar, maybe a 15 rounds of pranayam or 20 rounds of pranayam. It won't take more than about 4 or 5 minutes actually. So that will help you in making sure that your body is energized. If only you do pranayam that 5 minutes a day in the morning or whatever evening, For the remaining 23 hours and 55 minutes, your body, your cells over a period of time would be extremely energized, and you will be as active as you are when you wake up till you go to sleep at 10:30, 11 o'clock actually. So this is a simple thing. My sincere suggestion to all of you is, from a learned person, from a guru, try to find out what this pranayama is all about, how to go about doing it, and I assure you that it won't be more than about 3 to 4 minutes to begin with actually. Maybe if you want to do a thorough job, you may have to do it maybe for 7-8 minutes or so. But then even as simple as 3 to 4 minutes is something which I strongly advocate that everybody has to worry about the breathing. Okay, that is one point. Second thing, after breathing air, second thing is water. Because all of us drink water, and nobody needs to tell anybody the importance of water actually. Whether you drink half a liter of water or 4 or 5 liters of water per day, people know that water is there, water is to be drunk actually. But then I would like to once again say that almost 98% of the human beings as of today do not know this entire thing on water, what needs to be drunk, at what point water needs to be taken, when water should not be drunk, and how much to drink when. All these kind of things, our teachers never taught us, our parents never taught us, and we ourselves are not aware of it actually. And I definitely share with you that if only you know how much to drink, when not to drink. These three things, if you know, the chances are that 70 to 80% of chances are that you don't need to meet a doctor for a lifetime. But here we are talking about as simple as drinking water, which won't cost anything actually. It is only a question of being aware and then follow it, and follow it not 99% of the time, but follow it 100% of the time actually. It will give you enormous amount of benefit to the body actually. So again, that is, I'm not going into the details of the whole thing, but it is very much required. An adult requires a minimum of 3 to 4 liters of water. If I have to summarize this, water needs to be taken only when the stomach is empty. This is a golden principle actually. Water needs to be taken only when the stomach is empty. When will the stomach be empty? Stomach will be empty after the digestion process is completed. That whatever you eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee, tea, whatever that you put into your mouth, it has to be digested actually. For the digestion process, different foods will take different timings. For example, if you take a normal rice-oriented lunch, for example, it may take approximately 2 hours for digestion. For example, if you take a non-vegetarian stuff, it may take even 4 to 5 hours of digestion process. If you take the foods with heavy oily stuff, it may take easily 3.5 to 4 hours of digestion. If you take fruits actually, it will just take 40 minutes to digest. So the question is, whatever we eat mainly to make sure that the body is sustained, body has the energy, and as quickly as possible whatever you eat should be digested so that you will get the energy actually. So you need to choose appropriate calories for a day, and then you need to distribute over a period of the breakfast, lunch and dinner, etc., etc. And then you wait for the time the food in your stomach is digested actually. So the golden rule here is that any food you want to take, let's say 1 o'clock you want to take lunch, okay, half an hour before 1 o'clock you should stop taking water. That means 12:30 you stop taking water, and then half an hour before, that is 12:30 to 1, no water. Let's say you take about 20 minutes for lunch. So 1 to 1:20 is lunch time. That is actually you're eating. Okay. So during that time of eating, not even a drop of water. Okay. Then let's look at the watch and say 1:20 you finished lunch. Okay. From that time to up to 2 hours. That means 2:20, 3:20 p.m. no water. So that means right from 12:30 p.m. to 3:20 p.m. you are not taking any water. That means you are not disturbing the system. You are not unnecessarily pouring water into your system when the digestion process is going on. When the digestion process is happening, a lot of acids gets produced in the body actually. The concentrated hydrochloric acid gets produced so that will be able to take whatever you are putting into your mouth, and then it will be converting and the digestion process actually. At that point of time, when the acids are getting produced, if you pour water, the concentrated hydrochloric acid will become diluted hydrochloric acid. The diluted hydrochloric acid takes long time to digest the food actually. So after some time, your body will be unnecessarily producing acids when it is not required. So you will get things like acidity and things like that. So this is a simple technique you need to remember, that no water half an hour prior to food, no water during the food, and no water up to 2 hours after food actually. So like if you follow this, that means if you ask a question, when will my stomach be empty? When is the stomach ready to take water? If you ask that question, as soon as you get up in the morning, the stomach is empty, because the dinner that you have taken the previous night would have been digested when you are sleeping, maybe at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. depends on when you are eating, how much you are eating, how much calories you have pumped in previous night. So when you wake up in the morning, till half an hour before the breakfast, that is one time actually available to you, you can pump in water actually. That is one slot. Second slot is you finish breakfast, you wait for 2 hours. So from 2 hours after breakfast till half an hour before lunch, there is a slot available for you to pump in water. Again, if you look at it, 2 hours after lunch, half an hour before dinner, that is a time actually again available to pump in water. So you choose those 3 slots and pump in almost about 4 liters of water into the body. That is the way water needs to be taken by the body. If you simply follow this process actually, your body will be extremely good. It won't give you any problems. In my personal opinion, 80% of the times you don't need to visit a doctor. That kind of an effect is there. So that is about water. Third thing, so we talked about air, we talked about water, and third, I would like to talk about the food that we eat actually. We should, again, as a golden principle, we should eat minimum food in the night times. That means usually once you finish breakfast, you go to office, you do a lot of activity, lot of physical activity, lot of mental activity, the body requires energy. After lunch actually, again, after lunch there are lots of meetings, and again you have to go home and things like that. So body requires lot of energy during the daytime. Okay, but once you finish the dinner, you're not doing a lot of activity actually. Maybe you will sit down and watch a television, or sit down and watch read a few pages and things like that, and you're going to rest, you're going to sleep actually. So the golden principle is you give food to the body when the body needs energy. Okay, so you should never skip breakfast, you should never skip lunch, but dinner should be as light as possible. Okay, in fact, if you want to put on weight, if you want to add more more weight to your body, etc., then you eat as late as possible, and you eat more calories in the night time, then you will put on weight actually. So because there are some people who will come and also ask actually about how to add more weight, I'm looking very thin, etc. For them, my advice would be eat as late as possible, eat a lot of food, lot of high calorie food, and then just relax, so that body will actually use that extra calories and convert into fats and things like that. You look pulpy kind of thing. Okay, so my sincere advice is at least one of the 3 foods. If you say breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you choose one of the 3 should be only with fruits, because fruits will give lot of fruits will do a lot of good things actually. They have a lot of vitamins, enzymes, minerals, and things like that which body needs actually, and it takes only about 40 minutes to digest. And we are thinking about, for the people who are generally overweight, we want to eat less also. So everything will be perfectly matching. And if you are in the office late in the evenings also, you don't need to wait for going home and then making other people wait for dinner and things like that. You can order a few fruits, you can have a cut fruits kind of a thing at the office itself, and you can go home, and that's his dinner. It is not fruits plus dinner, it is fruits as dinner. Okay, and then when I say as early as possible, try to have dinner preferably by 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. That means after 7 p.m. don't give any more calories to your body. If you really want to reduce weight, if you want to lead a happy life, if you want to really give rest to your body parts actually, because they need to help us for 100 years. And then if you keep on pumping all the time and make the digestion engine continuously on, that will give lots of problems actually. So my advice to you is have good breakfast, have reasonably good lunch actually, and then have very less calorific value dinner, and as early as possible to 7 o'clock or something. In fact, even on the weekends on Saturday and Sunday, if possible, finish your dinner by 6:30 itself. Okay, that means almost by sunset you finish your dinner. And preferably, if you would like to have with fruits, then it is much easier also, even for your spouse. You do no need to go to a kitchen and then start preparing elaborate kind of things actually. But once in a while it is fine. But on a regular basis, this is my advice, because we need to balance out the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, the vitamins, minerals, enzymes. So you need to see for a period of what actually you are eating, how much you are eating. If you don't have control on how much you are eating, you should measure the food, and then you should advise people at home to just, because I don't have control on how much rice I am eating or how many chapatis I am eating or whatever it is, so just count it and put it, so that whatever you have to eat, you have to use that quantum of rice actually. So you need to have that kind of stuff. And then one more item I want to share with you is that when you talk about a rice or a wheat or whatever, make sure that these are unpolished. Because here, if you talk about rice, right from our childhood, actually children prefer to see white rice. Okay. In fact, there are 3 white poisons. Okay. One is white rice is a poison, salt is a poison, sugar is a poison. So easy to remember actually. 3 white poisons. So if somebody asks how much poison should I take, even a drop of poison is really poison. It will take your life away. So minimize your salt intake. So that minimizing the salt intake is not just for the people who are suffering from blood pressure. In fact, in general, for all human beings actually, you have to absolutely minimize salt. Because with salt there are so much complications. There's so many parts in our body inside which we cannot see. We'll hate to see salt coming into the body actually, because with various other items, body requires salt, but salt automatically comes through various other things that we eat, through fruits, through vegetables, and the sufficient amount of quantum that body requires salt is actually going inside. So you don't need to put external salt. So if you cannot eat without salt, you try to minimize, absolutely minimize salt, and absolutely minimize sugar, because these 2 are really, I'm saying, poisons. Okay. In the same category, the white rice. Okay, the absolute white, that means second time polishing, third time polishing, fourth time polishing. Each time the food grain is getting polished, you're losing all the values in that. You're eating almost a useless stuff. If somebody eating white rice, it is actually as good as saying that you are eating absolutely useless stuff. That means it has only carbohydrates. Okay, it is not having all the important ingredients actually. So in these days actually there is slowly awareness is building up. Brown rice, unpolished rice, you need to get used to it. And those people who want to reduce weight, okay, they should not eat rice more than once a day. And definitely they should not eat rice in the evening times. So you should convert into roti, convert into chapati kind of stuff actually. So that is about the food.
We actually take air, water and food, and we don't observe all these things. We are talking nothing great. We are actually talking whatever we do every day. And now actually we are coming to know how to take them appropriate, what time we should take. And I also like the point, give appointment to yourself. Now actually I think all our resources start thinking, giving appointment to themselves. Okay. Basically we give appointment to every day to many people, and now I think people actually start giving appointments to themselves, and by following all these 7 principles, until now actually we touched upon three elements. All these three elements is a very good. Maybe actually you can continue that.
Sure, I know that I'm overshooting the time actually, but having said 7, I can't stop at 3 actually. Yeah. The 4th one is the importance of sleep in one's life. In fact, we have to make sure that in a 24-hour cycle, we must necessarily sleep very well for 7 hours.
Yeah.
In fact, sleeping 7 hours, sleeping is not just lying down. Switch off the lights and lie down, not getting sleep is what I'm counting. Counting is actually from the moment you fall asleep till the moment you wake up actually. 7 hours of sleep that body requires. So when we are sleeping, there are lots of activities that the body does automatically. Our body has a mechanism of self-repair and self-maintenance. In fact, at the end of the day, when you finish your dinner, it has lot of work to be done to clean up various things and to prepare the body for next morning actually. So it requires almost 3 to 4 hours of concentrated time where it is not disturbed. And it cannot start that work once you're still eating actually. The digestion process should be over. At that point of time, the body starts cleaning up, maintaining the whole thing. Actually, it can actually self-heal many kinds of small things that we encounter, and then everyday maintenance. So for this purpose, one needs a solid 7 hours sleep. Okay, if you want to ask me what is the ideal time to sleep, okay, for a moment just keep the BPO people who are working in the night shift and things like that separate. Actually, the normal humans, normal persons, my preference is that they should sleep by 9:30 and wake up at 4:30 if possible. 9:30 to 4:30. If it is not possible, maybe 10 to 5. 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., 7 hours of solid sleep. Absolutely wonderful sleep. If you do it, your remaining 17 hours would be wonderful actually. So that means you need to identify what you are doing after 10 o'clock, okay, how you are spending your time, how to steal your time, and help the body so that this body can help us next morning, etc. So my preference, my simple line on this topic is we require 7 hours sleep. Okay, somebody may argue whether it is 6.5 hours or 7 hours. I prefer 7 hours actually. I'm not debating on this point, but if you ask me, my suggestion is 7 hours. And in the 7 hours also, I'm not talking about 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. No way. Okay. Or I'm not even talking about 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. kind of a thing. Yeah. The best thing is 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. or if you can 9:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. is one thing I want to say. And the fourth topic called sleep. Okay. Fifth topic is how frequently and how well and how effectively you are clearing your bowels. Clean up the bowels, because every human being is given a dustbin in our body system actually, where each time you consume something, a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner, something is digested, you get energy, and also you generate a lot of waste, and that waste is in the form of stool, in the form of urine actually. So the stool gets accumulated in the body, in the larger intestines and things like that. So you need to keep cleaning it. So if ideally speaking, if you are eating 3 times, you need to clean 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So this part is extremely important. At least 2 times in a 24-hour cycle, you must clear your bowels. Preferably, if you can clean the bowels 2 times in the morning itself, and maybe 1 time in the evening, that will make your body wonderful, fantastic. Your body loves you. Okay, so today's situation is that it is not a question of how many times you are cleaning your body. Many people ask the question, in how many days you clear once, kind of a stuff actually. So my recommendation is that you should clear at least 2 times, if not 3 times actually. 2 times in the morning, 1 time in the evening is ideal, so that your dustbin gets cleaned absolutely, so that it won't create any unnecessary insects and germs and various things and complicate the life. So whoever practices cleaning the bowels 3 times a day, in my personal opinion, they don't need to visit a doctor. If they know how to drink water, how much to drink water, and if they know how to clean the dustbin in the body actually, that is cleaning up the bowels, then their life is assured. So in fact, this taking water in the morning helps you to clean the bowels very fast, very smooth actually. Because as soon as you get up, if you actually pick up 1 full liter of water and then drink it continuously, 1 liter of this, as soon as you get up, even before you brush your teeth. Because once you brush your teeth, you can't drink a lot of water. So as soon as you get up, if you just get a habit of taking 1 full liter of water and then just consume it, and then walk for a couple of minutes, and then go to the bathroom and then clear the bowels, in a matter of 2-3 minutes, everything, you will get a feel that everything is fantastic. You can feel a lot of happiness that you have cleared lots of stuff actually. But then please remember, when you do that, only 60% of the waste is taken out. From the first time when you go to the bathroom in the morning, even after drinking 1 full liter of water, you are clearing only 60% of your dustbin. Pardon me for using this word dustbin, but just forcing the point actually. Now wait for about an hour and a half after the first liter, okay, during which period you do all your normal course, brushing, shaving, reading newspapers, exercising and all that, and then take another 1 full liter of water, and then repeat the whole thing. You walk for 2-3 minutes, and to your surprise, you will see you feel an urge to go to clear your bowels once again. So the second time, the remaining 40% will come out, and then that is the time. That means before you take the breakfast, everything that you have accumulated, previous day's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, everything is taken out. You get a fresh feel, and you will be very, very happy actually. Similarly, since you have cleared breakfast and lunch during the day, around evening time actually, around 7 o'clock, whenever you go home or something like that. Preferably if you want, take some more water and then clear your this thing. So this is my fifth principle, that is clearing of the bowels. This is a minimum 2 times. 3 times is advisable, is another fifth very interesting health related thing that has been helping me, and that is a very interesting thing actually.
Liking, now actually we understood how our body starts liking us.
Loves it.
Loves our body, loves us.
Absolutely.
This is another important thing. I think this is turning out to be a very interesting session, wherein I'm not even finding a room wherein I can actually open my mouth, because so much information that we are getting today. Thank you so much. I think all our researchers are getting benefited out of the session.
Thank you, Gauri.
So please continue.
So fifth one is, we have talked about clearing of the bowels. Sixth one is the exercise. Because so far I have not talked anything about the exercise actually. So that exercise, in my opinion, you should take out 1 full hour from your 24 hours actually. And ideally that you should do it between the first liter water in the morning and the second liter of water. In between, I said you will get about 1.5 hours time. Okay, to get this 1.5 hours time and things like that, that is the reason I said you should wake up at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. If you wake up at 6:30 and if you have to be at InfoCity in Hyderabad or Hinjawadi in Pune, it is not possible to do all these kinds of things and then be in the office at 9 o'clock actually. So you need to wake up at 4:30 or 5. I can also underline the statement to say that some of the most successful people on this earth are early risers. Because when you wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, till about 7 o'clock or so, you are not disturbed. In fact, automatically you are giving appointment to yourself. Even though you are doing some parallel activities about your own health, your own routine and things like that, nobody is disturbing you, no calling bells at that point of time, not even your family members are disturbing you, asking various questions. It is all yourself talking to yourself, yourself planning the day, yourself talking about the philosophy or whatever that comes to your mind. It is the time for you. It is that golden hour kind of a stuff, not to be disturbed, and it will not be disturbed also. Okay. So this 1 hour of the exercise routine can be ideally done between the first liter of water and the second liter of water. You can comfortably take, to begin with, maybe you can start with a 30 minutes routine, and gradually you can take it to about 60 minutes actually. So in the very beginning itself, if you cannot wake up early and if you cannot really take out 1 hour, you don't need to get disappointed. Start with small steps, start with 30 minutes actually, and then do the exercise. Now here I would like to say the best form of exercise is yoga.
Okay.
The best form of exercise is yoga, because you are not dependent on any equipment. You are not dependent on the weather, because if you say that you go and walk or jog or whatever it is, if the outside is raining, then you feel like sleeping. You don't feel like going out anywhere actually. If you have to do a treadmill, for example, when you are in an external place, the treadmill may not be there actually. If you go to your visitors, any hotel you go or any holiday you are there, any vacation you are there, you can't carry treadmills wherever you are actually. So yoga doesn't require any equipment. Yoga requires a place, maybe a 6x6 kind of a place where you can do it, and you can do it at if in the morning. If it is not possible, you can do it in the evening actually. And it is a question of putting a routine into the whole thing actually. And yoga gives a lot of interesting positives to many parts in the body. See, if somebody is only walking or jogging, for example, only 2 or 3 parts in the body gets benefited. If you do normal yoga for about 20-25 minutes actually, it gives exercise to multiple portions of the body. And yoga, you can do it even at the age of 80. Whereas walking, jogging and things like that, beyond 40-50, even doctors won't advise you actually. So yoga has multiple benefits of not dependent on the weather, not dependent on equipment. Even when there is a power failure, you can do it. Even when you're traveling, you can do it. In a hotel room, in a guest house, you can do it actually. And it gives benefit to multiple parts in the body.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to learn it from a person, a guru kind of a thing. It won't take much time. Maybe 3 or 4 classes, each of about half an hour. People will make sure that you are comfortably able to do it. So that is my best recommendation in terms of exercise. Okay. Then after the 25 minutes or so, before or after, you can do some walking. Okay. Walking is always welcome. Maybe 25 to 30 minutes kind of a stuff actually. So a combination of walking and yoga in that 60 minutes is most beneficial. And within that, we also talk, within that 60 minutes, you have that 5 minutes for pranayam. to make sure that that is also you can bring it here actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Always I just would like to end this exercise topic. Whatever rigorous exercise you may do running or jogging or swimming or horse riding or whatever, 3 parts of the body won't get exercise. 3 parts of the body won't be exercised even if you do all these rigorous exercises actually. One is lower back.
Okay.
When you're walking or jogging or swimming or horse riding also, lower back will not be benefited. Please remember. Similarly, neck and lower back are extremely important. You can just imagine, even on one fine morning actually when you wake up, there's a neck pain, how much really it pains. If there is a lower back pain, it is impossible to do the work actually. Okay, you will weep. You feel like crying actually. So, neck, lower back and the eyes. Our eyes don't get exercise for any other modes of thing actually. So there are very specific exercises for this. For doing neck exercises, you require only 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes just to do 3 types of exercises for neck, and neck pain will never come to you. Okay. For lower back, there are 1 or 2 exercises in the yoga. So in the 25 minutes of yoga, there will be a couple of things where you can do to make sure that the neck, the lower back pain will never come to you. It is a question of futuristic statement. It's not a question of when you're suffering, I'm not asking you to do. In fact, when you're suffering, it is impossible for you to do those exercises. Right. It is preventing to make sure that you're not getting. So always remember, the neck requires exercise, lower back requires exercise, eyes require exercise. These 3 also should be part of your 60-minute routine. So make it interesting. Okay. Is a bit of yoga, a bit of walking, a bit of pranayam, a bit of neck exercise, lower back exercise, and also eyes exercise. Is an ideal 1 hour slot for your this thing. So we talked about air, talked about water, talked about food, talked about sleeping, talked about clearing the bowels, and then we talked about the exercise and the routine actually. These 6 things will take care of your physical body.
Right.
Your physical body is taken care if you are doing and putting in a nice form a complete routine kind of a stuff in your 24-hour life cycle. Your physical body will be good. I just take another couple of minutes before we wind up on the mental health. Physical dimension is one thing. How good is your brain? Is your mind? Is it fresh? Is it less anxious? Because even if you have an excellent body, if your mind is disturbed, if your mind is always anxious, your life is not complete. You will never be happy actually. So again, are there any 2 or 3 or 4 things that we can practice and make sure that we are always happy, we're always smiling, we're always, if somebody asks you a question, are you mentally okay? Yes, you should be able to say, yes indeed, I am happy. So that will come and that will show on your face also actually. So 2-3 things that I can share from my personal examples, if you may allow me, is that always accept the people as they are. So most of our mental problems will come by interacting with some people. The moment you see one person, then immediately you will think your mind is agitated, you don't like him, you hate him, you don't want to even show your face, you don't enjoy talking to him. It can be some of the family members, it can be somebody at office, it can be somebody totally outside also. So this is one thing which you have to necessarily practice, because by developing that kind of a dislike or a hatred feeling against somebody, that somebody is not going to be affected, but you are getting affected.
Yeah.
Because that somebody may not even know. In fact, that somebody may be just at a 50 meters distance from us, and by looking at that person, our mind is agitated at this point of time. And we are actually taking all that kind of a pressure. So my suggestion is that never dislike anybody on this earth. That is something which you need to practice. You need to start thinking that I don't have any enemies, I don't have any foes, I don't dislike anybody, I have nobody to whom I can say I don't like. In the mentally also, I don't feel discomfort with anybody on the earth. So that is the kind of a thing you need to start practicing actually. And also please put one line saying that if I start disliking somebody, the first person and the only person that will be affected negatively is myself. Okay, it is just playing with fire, keeping the fire in your pocket, and it will burn you actually. So this is the fundamental first thing you need to say. I have no enemies in this life. I accept everybody. Maybe I may not agree with somebody's opinion or a logic, but I have no dislike. That means when I look at anybody on this earth, my mind is calm. My mind is fresh. He is also another human being created by the Almighty. That's all. Whatever Almighty is there in my body, that Almighty is there in other body also. But because of the earlier experiences and the family and the way that person has been brought up, he may be thinking different way because of the education, background, family background, what books he has read, who is influencing him, etc., etc. So you may disagree with somebody, but you should never dislike anybody. You should never ever hate anybody. You should be able to proudly start practicing saying that in this life I don't have any enemies. And start practicing. Maybe first make it as a statement and then start practicing. Maybe initially you can even fake it. You can start faking it, saying that I don't have any enemies, and then practicing it over a period of time. Maybe after a few weeks or few months, you reach a situation where really I don't have anybody, I don't dislike anybody, I don't hate anybody. My mind is calm. I am good. I am fine. That is one. Second thing is accept all circumstances as they are. This is a very, very, very important thing. Accept all circumstances as they are. That means nothing will affect you. Suddenly you are watching a cricket match, it is in the 49th over, we require 12 runs, we have 1 wicket in hand, we have Dhoni facing, no tension, no pressure. Suddenly I'll say, power off. Current is gone. At that point, if I'm just giving as an example actually, nothing. At that point, accept that as a situation.
Yeah.
Okay? You may just walk a few steps and you may fall down. Accept it. There is nothing that you are going to gain by not accepting it. Any instance, even in the office, let's say you got an ASM, A or T rating, your boss told you that you are an A. First of all, you accept it. Okay, that is the boss, whatever he or she has observed on you, based on the kinds of things, based on the kinds of normalization that he or she needs to do, to come up with a rating, M or A. So you may be expecting, yes, you actually got an M. First of all, accept it. By accepting it, your pressure will come down. Then you can always discuss, you can always put forth your argument actually. So you don't need to be violent. First, accept the circumstance. Anything that can happen. Somebody in the family may leave us for life. Okay, something may happen in the job. One may lose the job. One may not get the contract that he or she is signing, so passionately working for so long. But at the same time, give your 100% whatever you are assigned to. This is I am putting a semicolon and putting accept all circumstances as they are, but give your 100%. So after giving your 100%, if still some circumstances are not to your liking, they're happening, accept them. Accept them with a smile, because you cannot change them. You can put forward your suggestions or whatever you can have an argument, don't carry to your mind actually. So learn to accept circumstances as they are. In fact, this is not easy. In fact, both the statements that I am talking, accept people as they are, accept circumstances as they are. These two statements, if one can specialize, one can think, and for this thing, you need to talk to yourself. You need to close your door, you need to go to a whiteboard, you need to look at the sky, you need to sit in the balcony and then look at the deep sky, and then what is this accept people as they are? Who are the people who I am not liking today? Who are those people? What is wrong with them? Can I start accepting them from today? Can I make a statement that I don't have anybody disliking from this moment onwards for a lifetime? So one by one, maybe you can take a white paper and start writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As of this moment, I don't like these people. I was actually hating some people. And one by one, you take those people onto the screen and then start saying that from this moment onwards, that person is a friend to me. I am not going to hate him. Next, bring the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person. Then for that moment, you just scratch the paper and say that from this moment onwards, I am happy. I will be friendly. From my end, there won't be any problems. I don't dislike anybody. That kind of a thing you need to practice. Second thing, start observing your own life every day, various things which circumstance is upsetting you, right from having a cold coffee all the way to missing a bus, to missing a train, to missing anything kind of a thing, and somebody spoiling your shirt or whatever it is. First thing you should say, it is okay. In fact, I'm just giving a powerful solution to this problem actually. The very first thing that should come to your lips is, not my God. Should say it's okay. Very first thing, start practicing, start faking. Whatever happens to your dislike, first say it's okay. If you want, you can repeat, it's okay, it's okay. I'm accepting this circumstance. I know this is very difficult, but I can't do anything about it. It already happened. It already spoiled my shirt with the ink. I cannot do anything about it. First, let me accept it. So you should get to a feeling, it is okay. You should, maybe to begin with, in my opinion, you can say you should practicing it. It's okay, it's okay. Because many times when some people come to you in a disturbed mode, we will tell them, it's okay, boss, come on. Yeah. But when it comes to us, we are not saying it. But I'm saying we need to practice it. And for practicing it, you need to face some situations. In our daily lives, we get hundreds of such situations every day. Because for each small, minute thing, we are getting upset every day. We are getting upset on our people at family, at house, team members, project leaders, project managers, client, investors, analysts, all the people are saying, what's happening now? First you say, it is okay. But always put a semicolon and say, did I give my 100%? First you give your 100%. Then still, if something goes happen, no, it is okay. Kind of a philosophy, you need to do it. But these are the 2-3 things. In fact, I attended a course on Art of Living by Ravi Shankar ji. That brought some of these points into the whole thing. Actually, accept people as they are, accept circumstances as they are. It is okay. Give your 100%. I attended it about 12 years ago in Satyam Computers actually. So from that point onwards, from that moment onwards, it brought a whole difference to my life. And when I talk more about these things to other people, they are able to see the benefits. So after talking about the first 6 points for the physical health, this point on the mental health, not getting upset on anybody, not getting upset with any circumstances, giving our 100% actually, and then saying that it is okay, will help you tremendously, and you will be able to sleep very well once you hit the bed.
Yeah.
Okay. These are the few thoughts, Gauri, I just wanted to share with you.
I'm sure all our associates' thought process, first of all, will change now. At least I'm already starting thinking on, how to like people, how to avoid, instead of telling this, how to like people, all my enemies, and if at all I have any. So I think people will start thinking in those lines. It's so powerful statement. I'm sure it will actually, thank you for sharing so much of wonderful, information. It speaks volumes for all of us, and this is actually a very, very wonderful session, and I'm so happy to begin this session with a person like you and the wonderful information that we're carrying today.
Thank you, Gauri. I just would like to say that these are all my personal experiences. I'm just putting all the small print kind of stuff actually. So this helped me tremendously. So when you asked me to share my personal experiences, I just shared with you. So I'm not here to argue with somebody whether 4 liters of water per day is important or good, or 3 liters would be sufficient. I'm not for that kind of a debate. This helped me. I have read it, I practiced it, and I've seen some people getting good health out of the whole thing. Okay, hope.
It's very clear. I think, see, this is the experience that actually you are sharing with us, and I'm sure all of our associates also start thinking the similar lines. But if you can actually give me 5 minutes of time, or maybe less than, I'll just help our associate understand what is it we are doing as a part of
Absolutely.
WOW.
In fact, I forgot to ask you. In fact, what is Tech Mahindra doing under the WOW scheme actually?
So last, around June, July, we were born, named as Wealth of Wellness. At Hyderabad, we are successful in reaching majority of the associates by coming up with various initiatives which actually were focusing on the major problem that an associate can undergo going forward. Mm-hmm. We are trying to think on the preventive measures rather than coming up with a solution for that.
Excellent.
In this process, wonderful initiative what we thought was, even our location chair PK also encouraged us to come with stretch breaks. I personally, along with the team, went to majority of the floors, and we encouraged the associates to do that. And on this note, if I take 2 minutes of permission, please thank all the managers who are encouraging their teams to do it. And I'll also request the managers who, for where this culture is not there, to make sure that this is also getting practiced in your locations.
Excellent.
in your projects. If you want any help, you can write to me, Gauri_Prasad_Markonda Patnaik, at just a call away or a ping away. I'll be there and help you to spread this culture called stretch breaks. We are committed, and we are here to give you 200% support. Very and nice. Also, we did one health checkup camps, like cardiac checkup camp, wherein we did ECG, 2D echo, everything. We brought and that set up, and our associate has used it like anything, sir. Maybe one of the associate who was actually having sugar around 400, sugar levels at 400, was identified and was asked to leave for that day and join the hospital. But you know what the associate told? I have a delivery, I cannot do it right now. And the doctor came to us and told us about this, and we somehow took it. We tried to reach the associate, and we took it. We spoke with the associate, and we did something. And also, we did some of the yoga sessions. We did meditation sessions actually, which you are telling about. We are not leaving with yoga, meditation, health checkup, and also health talks. We're also trying to bring some fun to it by having some Zumba classes.
Fantastic, very good, very
Zumba
nice.
classes, and also we are actually focusing to add some music, wherein the kind of stress relievers and these kind of initiatives are. We're identifying the major problems. Recently, we did some of the programs majorly focusing for our women associates in the organization. And we are shortly next week or this week we are planning to have a doctor or a consultant to for the back pain, which actually you're talking about, lower back, and also some knee problems. We are identifying all the major problems.
Excellent.
We have identified all the major problems. We are doing some programs like that. But we'd like to request our associate to make use of the facilities where our ASM is actually earlier telling of the facilities that we have in the organization. We have wonderful gym. We have swimming pool. We have basketball court. We have table tennis. Whatnot. We have many facilities. We request the associates to make use of it and give appointment to themselves, if I can actually use that, in a day for some time for their health, and make sure that they are healthy and they're happy, and the family is healthy and their organization is healthy in this process.
I'm very happy to hear this, and I'm happy that you have taken the initiative. You are so passionate, and so I wish all these initiatives a grand success. And please let me know if I can be of any help to you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. Yeah.